Well, at least he's got that intact. Because he's going to need it up against DRX, who...
I think he might need more than just Aura. We'll see. We'll see what they're able to bring out. Starting off with the Rumble ban. And I feel like it's an interesting one because when you're playing into Shiru, the Ambassador priority feels like it's a little bit higher than with other teams. I think right now the priority's dropped through the floor for that champion, but Shiru's still posing a threat in it, still making some relevant performances. Full jungle bans coming out. Xin Zhao and Pantheon. This feels weird to me because Xin Zhao, Pantheon are still available, yet we've had 2 jungle bans.
Yeah. I mean, DRX, maybe they ban one here and say, well, you got to ban the other.
Yeah, and then
because you're not going to get the trade.
You can just first pick something else.
Yep.
So they ban Xin Zhao.
Maybe now they get Varus.
Honestly, I think DPLUS, you should not ban Pantheon here because if they get Pantheon, then you get like what? Like Varus, Talia? Yeah, feels pretty good. Yep, so they ban the Aurora.
So they say you can take Pantheon, we'll take Gwen?
This is the thing, is there's so many strong picks right now for DRX. Kind of hard to choose between them all. Will be the Pantheon. And in this situation, you have options. You can go for the Varus, you can go for the Gwen, you can go for the Talia. The thing is, there's still like Gwen Sejuani is a possible combo that could be picked up. There's still like the Wukong on the cards. Don't really want to go for the Lilia when you have that Gwen in the top lane. We'll see. It looks like they are going to commit to it, though. Jay's still available, though, for DRX. Gwen, Wukong.
Yeah, maybe looking for an Ahri for Showmaker if they go that direction. Instead, thinking about the Sejuani.
Gwen Sejuani, you know, Showmaker not the most keen on Yone. This would be kind of a crazy Yone draft, but not really something we expect to see him bring out. We'll see if he wants to surprise us. For the side of DRX, though, I think you probably just go Jace. Gnar instead. Okay. A little different. Haven't seen too much Gnar priority recently. Playing to the Gwen.
Yeah. For a good reason, I'd say.
Not overly convinced on this one. Pantheon Talia, I think, though, that's a good pickup. I definitely would lean into that. Instead, go... Okay.
But Talia's great in Azir, so even if Showmaker gets it, like, you don't have to take it away here.
Yeah, it does mean that DPLUS's top side is very AP heavy, so they decide instead to go for the Yone. Yone also good into Azir. So, yeah, I think DPLUS very, very, very comfortable with how the start of this draft has panned out.
Yeah.
And now, I feel like the position of strength, so the first 3 picks, blue side has a lot of advantage because you have that first pick, you know, gives a lot of strength to kind of dictate things. The red side has to ban so much. But when it comes to the next rotation, like, you get first choice coming out of the pick a ban phase. They start off by banning the Varus. Maybe DRX want to ban the Alistar away in this situation. Could even be a little bit concerned about like a Kalista or a Braum. They go for that Alistar ban that we often see on...
Yeah. It was R4 all the time, and now it's just banned on 4 all the time by the blue team. They're like, no, we're not letting you get that. And it's Beryl as well. Again. So you don't want to give him Alistar. He's able to int more tactically, you know? Where he can get in there, and then if he gets himself into a bad spot, he just presses his ult.
They ban the Kalista as well in this situation. I was thinking they could maybe pick the Kalista and then have counter pick set up for it. They opt not to go in that direction. I think it's hard to place exactly what DRX ban. There's so much open. So many options in this situation. Maybe like a Braum, if you wanted to pick like an engaged support, they go for the Ezreal instead. We'll see. I think it makes sense with the Alistar gone. There's nothing that really stands out to me that you want to pick up as a support in this situation. I think take AD carry here. Aiming definitely comfortable on picks like the MF. Kai'Sa works well with the composition, and we know he's comfortable with that, but I think blind Kai'Sa a little bit risky, so feels like he will lean towards the Misfortune.
Yeah, it's been his go-to.
The side of DRX. Leona often good into the Misfortune, but they could just hit you with a Braum, which is kind of scary. You could deny the Rel away. In terms of AD carries...
How about Braum Rel bot lane?
Yeah.
then you deny both.
Sure, sure. Oh, they're looking at the Kai'Sa. I mean, Kai'Sa, Nico, we've seen it be very popular, but this is a pretty short, like, I mean, the Nico has the poke power, who has to carry a lot of the weight, but into an MF, when you're playing into DPLUS with counter pick, can be pretty scary. Looks like Beryl is just going to go for the Nautilus, though. Unless... oh, this would be crazy. This would be hard winning, by the way.
Yeah.
And it's super popular in solo queue. In fact, on the latest patch they just hit today, they actually nerfed it because it's been running rampant.
There you go. It's happening. Beryl's Fiddlesticks. In game number 1, it should do very for aiming. I think you're in a good spot. The Gnar is interesting from Rich. Elected to not go for the Jace in this game in a pretty good Jace spot. And they're going up against this with Fiddlesticks for Beryl in game number 1. Very interesting stuff. He's got the hat. DRX up against DPLUS at game 1.
미니언 생성까지 30초 남았습니다.
You see that?
Yes.
See what's on his chest, Brendan?
I didn't see that.
On the skin.
I saw him standing like a scarecrow, but I didn't see the
British flag.
The British flag?
Yeah. That's how it's pronounced.
Where did the tea go? I'm just curious.
They drank it all.
I see. We threw it into the bay or whatever. I don't know why we did that.
Yeah, something to do with that.
I don't know why we did that. That was kind of crazy.
There you go.
The harbor? I guess.
You know what? This game is going to be so confusing because you're going to have the Nico clones and the... What are they called again?
Scarecrows.
No, there's like a specific name. It's like vestiges of something. I don't know. I don't remember.
It's like a new rework, so it's got some overly lengthy title that nobody knows.
You're gonna make me look it up, aren't you?
Yes. Yes, I am.
I have to do everything around here.
That is true. I just do the yelly bit, and then you do the rest. You see, already Beryl is silencing the Nico. You could see more of that in the future being a problem. And they're getting first push here, so Lazy Fiel and Nanda will have to back away.
That's it, Effigy.
Effigy.
Scarecrow Effigy.
I think it's just a scarecrow.
No, it's called Scarecrow.
Yeah, I mean, I know what it's officially called.
Fiddlesticks can pretend to be an effigy by standing still, so... Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good tip. I'm sure if you try that in Silver, they'll just be like, oh, he's just an effigy, surely. The last time was Kingzone Tushin in 2019 versus Humble Life Esports' Key on Thresh.
Was that pre-rework, or when was the rework?
Yeah. That was pre-rework.
Are you sure? When was the rework?
Yeah. It was like 2023 or 22.
I was like, there was no way it was that recently. Then I was like, wait, that's like 3 years ago.
Yeah, no, it wasn't super recent, but it was more recent than 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with the fiddle support, again, it's been running rampant in solo queue. A lot of people have been playing it. It's really popular. It is getting nerfed. On the live patch, it's just been nerfed. So if you're going to try it out, because you've seen Beryl play it, I'm pretty sure it's still playable, but it is a bit weaker. A big thing is... Oh, no.
It's okay.
Points in your queue, very valuable. You extend the fear duration, and max rank is 2.25 seconds. So really powerful.
It's like a Morgana binding, except you can't do anything. Not quite as Rudy as that. They are going to get, actually, the barrier. Looks like, oh no, it was cleanse.
They got the cleanse, so
yeah,
they are potentially, I mean, it was flash for cleanse, generally not a good trade, but if you're looking to threaten a dive or something, which they're obviously not, but how did DRX know that, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, the silence you're mainly using for harass, the fear is point and click, which is really good to picks like the Kai'Sa, who obviously wants to dive in. That cleanse value will be pretty high in this game. Without it, you're going to be pretty vulnerable. And then obviously the ult. The ult is just pretty strong.
Yeah. Kind of surprised that it took us this long to see it.
Yeah.
You know? Especially in this meta where I feel like there are a lot of picks it does well into. Like, it's fantastic for counter engage. It's great in lanes such as these, which we're seeing more often now. So I guess Beryl was just saving it for this big matchup up against DRX. He was waiting for 6 losses in a row, and then he was going to pull it out.
Then he pulls out his secret weapon.
Yeah. That is Nico.
Oh, he misses the cannon.
Yeah, we saw a lot of that in the first series. Rich just flashes after Shiu had already backed away. Although he could have, like, follow flash and maybe done something.
I don't think a flash order would have killed, but it was close enough that I can understand him flashing.
Yeah.
But not doing so great in the count. I'm putting quotation, I'm in air quotes.
Okay.
Counter matchup.
Yeah, I wish people could see what you were doing just so they know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Air quotes, I think, is pretty...
self-explanatory.
Yeah. The quote-unquote counter pick of the Gnar. Gnar definitely oftentimes picked to just play safe and, you know, farm with Boomerang and poke them down and get hyper procs. And she's melee, so you can kind of take good trades if you're good with your spacing. But oftentimes when it feels like, you know, I think she was just a better top laner at this moment in time, the Gnars can kind of just get abused in some of these lanes like this.
Also, it's one of these things where, like, you need to constantly have pressure, because if you make a mistake against a Gwen, you're now dealing with Gwen, you know? You kind of have to, like, permanently harass, keep him down, and just not let Shiu have any advantages. And right now, you can see Rich is obviously trying to do that, but losing that flash is such a big hit.
All right, nice play from Showmaker.
There's a little dance after.
Yeah, even the stutter stepping. It's like, what's up, buddy?
Nice try. Ult for ult, so he's pretty happy with that trade.
Oh, nice bounce there on a lazy feel. So Beryl steps up.
This is kind of what I mean, you know. Nico can sort of match the Fiddlesticks harass. Like, in terms of if it's isolated, Nico Fiddlesticks, Nico does a good job harassing, but it's not isolated. It's MF vs Kai'Sa. And MF is so favored in terms of harass, especially if you can build an early Vamp Scepter, that it's basically Andal trying to trade 1v2 against Beryl and aiming. Not a fun time.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. And Beryl from a winning lane, you know, at level 1, his ability to lifesteal isn't huge, but at least it keeps him relatively happy. We do have a Pantheon coming in, and Beryl's just dead, so all this talk about Beryl's Fiddlesticks and their winning lane state and stuff like that. Sponge just hit 6 first, and he gets the gank and it's first blood.
Very easy pickup. Doesn't help that Beryl did fear Andal's clone like 2 seconds earlier.
I don't think he would have lived anyway, but...
No, but that...
It doesn't help.
No, it definitely doesn't help. But it is what it is. I mean, Sponge picks up the kill. Obviously nice for him, but doesn't drastically change the lane too much. It does allow Lazyfield and Andal to get a nice reset. And Grub's spawning soon, so could open up towards the top side of Prioritize. So
Tempo ult?
yeah, that did a lot of damage, I think. That was sarcasm.
Yeah, I could tell.
Yeah.
I've been around you for long enough. Lucid here as well on vision. Beryl also spotted. Andal's here, but just a Nico. Not going to do much. But they call off the gank, so Rich just goes back to the turret. We do have Grubs about to spawn, so DK staking a claim over this objective.
And we are seeing the Rod of Ages Gwen. Being a little bit here and there with that one, but Sponge going to contest this. But it's 2 for DPLUS, and they can just dip out. They won't get the full 3, but they get the feat of strength contribution.
It's really what you're there for. And Grubs nowadays feels a little bit less like what it used to be, which was teams just throwing fights over a set of 3 Grubs that were less strong than current 3 Grubs.
Yeah, I just think... You know what? I'm not sure the strength of the objective is always the relevant metric, because sometimes it feels like teams just use it as an excuse to fight.
Especially BNK.
Yeah.
That's a team that loves fighting. They love scrapping. They'd be a great goon on a hockey team.
Now DPLUS, aiming was holding the wave there, but we'll start to push it out. Aiming level 7, a little bit ahead of Lazyfield. But it's mostly just like the fact, I think this is one of the things that's so impressive about MF, is the fact that you can itemize early in the lifesteal, which is so rare in the modern era League of Legends with AD carry itemization. And then once you get Bloodthirster, not many champions can walk up to you. Now Rich,
Shoot, about to get his ult, and the ult just misses, so... I mean, they can still go for it with Permafrost, and Rich, yeah, he's gonna bounce straight into a Sejuani, and you see his reaction. He is not happy. The timing on that gank was great. Look at the flash timer on Rich up in the top left.
Yep, they had it measured at exactly the right moment. Shiwu should be able to get this plate and then back off. Yeah, it's fun, you're good, bro.
Sponge pretending like he can do anything.
Yeah. But it's just, I mean, the fact that the ult missed and the gank still worked showed you how cooked Rich was there, and it was just a great knock-up by Lucian to interrupt the hop. It's unfortunately not a kill out of the Gwen, but look at this lead that Shiwu has already, which is impressive considering it's a counter match. I did the air quotes.
Thank you for the air quotes again.
If anyone who's wondering.
It really hammers the point home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean... Again, I think he just was hoping to try to neutralize the lane and then be somewhat of a team fight person. Oh. I got him.
Did look like he was trying to leave the kill.
Aftershock damage.
Yeah, he was trying to leave it after
the kill.
That's what he said, but really Lucian is like, yeah.
He was smiling the whole time.
I'm getting my heart steal sooner, gonna start stacking up.
Yeah, definitely getting a lot of stacks in pro.
He's like, actually, Shiwu, if you got the gold, you'd finish Rod of Ages sooner, and you'd get less of a level. So if anything, I'm helping you by taking that gold. You're welcome, by the way.
True.
That's exactly what my jungler would say. So
they wouldn't even be there. You would be like 0-3.
They would also take two full waves.
Getting doped by the enemy jungler.
They would take 2 full waves and be like, no, this is to help you.
Yeah. We got to push this in real quick. Like, come on. We're diving top, and we're diving bot. Rich in a lot of trouble. I think he's just dead. But the top lane, he's able to trade back, actually, on a barrel. But Shiwu, he is taking it up, but actually LazyFeel sticking around for the kill, and he gets taken down. Traded out as well by Shiwu.
And this is much more significant in favor of DPLUS, because they didn't burn any summoners across the ones making the dive. Beryl didn't flash or anything. Yes, Beryl goes down, it's a kill for kill, but aiming is the one getting alone time with the tower. Look, top lane, no one's even there. LazyFeel dying feels really bad. You would much rather your support die in turn. So DPLUS pretty happy with how that one panned out. Here, I mean, this is the power of that Fiddlesticks ult coming in. Rich was nearly mega, so you can see there was some concern. They try to chain the CC and unfortunately fail. But I think it's fine, you know, Beryl likes dying anyway. Yeah, it's a great flash, and he saves the W for so long. Doesn't really block much here, but it does give him the extra resist. Dodges the spear at the end. And then here, unfortunately, LazyFeel gets the aggro, but really well played from...
Meanwhile, this time, I don't know if he can outplay this one. He is going to dash, but yeah, one more auto with the soldier gets it done. Yukal takes him out. So Shiwu not enjoying himself very much on the second time around.
Yeah, got polyed out a little bit there.
And it's a Azir with some free time with the turret this time. So, seems like a pretty good timing there for DRX to go for a nice gank.
Pizza strength secured for DPLUS though. Not many boot buyers. Only one boot buyer.
Are you a boot buyer?
Depends. On support, I think often.
Pretty often, yeah.
Yeah.
Dash is in. Nobody's on vision. Thinks he's alone.
Wanted to push the wave in. Didn't expect anyone to be there. A little unfortunate for Shiwu. And now Andal chasing Showmaker away. Yeah, it's a Chemtech Soul. I think the Chemtech Soul value is okay here, you know, unlike Yone and Gwen. Not terrible, but not the soul you would want.
Yeah. Could have had like Cloud or Infernal.
Cloud with Fiddlesticks is crazy. Cloud with Gwen?
That's why I'm like, yeah, probably Cloud is number one.
Cloud with MF.
Infernal second.
Less good, you know.
Yeah.
The movement speed after you ult, less ideal. Although the general movement speed with how fast you're already, but there is diminishing returns.
It's mainly just for Shiwu and Beryl.
Yeah.
It's not Cloud Soul, so yeah. He got some shields. He got some heals. You're staying alive at low health, you know. you're Gwen, if you're Yone, sometimes. Even Fiddle. So I think there is some value, but as you mentioned, not the best.
Yeah.
Slowing down a little bit after a bunch of dives in succession.
You have some spikes coming in. Blade Rune King completed there by Showmaker. Boots completed by Beryl.
He's a boot buyer.
Ionians for the flash cooldown. Pretty nice when playing the Fiddle. And yeah, we do have Herald come up in about 15 seconds. See DPLUS opening up on that side of the map. They have Shiyu on bot side with TP. And based on the fact Lazy Fuel is here... Sorry, it's not Lazy Fuel, it's Andal pretending to be Lazy Fuel. Based on the fact Andal is here, not sure they're going to be in a position to fight this immediately. And if they lose vision control of this area, you ain't pushing in against a Fiddlesticks.
Nope. All right, well, Shiyu, he's been through this before, right? We do have an ult, and it's when he's in the mist. Now we have Pantheon showing up, but a little bit late to the party. I think it's still okay. No mist. Sponge gets the kill, and there you go. Now, Lazy Feel, he went the wrong way, and he's going to cleanse there at the end.
Yeah, not sure how he ended up in that position, but...
He blast coned over.
I mean, I know he blast coned over, but I'm not sure what led to him blast coning over.
He was engaging.
You know, I'm wondering about the intent, Brendan. I'm wondering why.
He was intending on going over the wall. He's kind of going to dodge the ult.
Thank you, Brendan.
Yeah, no problem. Just clearing that up for you.
I mean, this is pretty good for DRX, all things considered. They lost the Herald anyway. I don't think you get away. Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
So,
yeah,
no, I mean, this is what I figured happened.
Okay,
but
he doesn't know it's Chemtexel.
But the thing is, why did it happen?
I think he just didn't know it was Mega Cone, and he just wanted to get to lane.
Thought it was a little cone.
Yeah. Baby Cone.
You know what they should do?
What?
If you really want to spice things up, when it's Chemtech map, the cones, there's no visual indicator. That just, you don't know if it's a Mega or a Mini. You just take it for a ride, you find out. Like, oh, I can get over this wall, and then suddenly you just end up in their side of the map. You're like, yeah. Well, that's what I'm dealing with right now.
I think that's better than current.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's terrible. But it would be very funny.
I think it's better.
It'd be very
more
funny.
Entertaining.
Is that what it's all about? Entertainment for you?
Yes. Who cares about competitive integrity? Just jump on a cone and see what happens.
The trick is just to get the cone size right. Just don't be wrong.
Don't be wrong.
Yeah,
make the right cone.
Set him for Dragon here. Beryl has a great angle.
I'm not going to spot him, though. But they have control of Banana Brush, which is going to make this much better. The Fear comes in, and that's a very interesting Nico ult. He has to flash away just to survive, I guess, using that ult. But now it's just a flip, and it does go to Sponge, as now Beryl goes over the wall. A lot of low health bars there on the side of DRX, but they get the Drake, and they get out. So pretty good for them.
I don't think DPLUS set up for that fight particularly well, considering. I feel like they had such good position on the objective, and they kind of just flopped, you know? Well, I'll talk about it a bit in the replay, but okay, he's learned his lesson with the Mega Cone. Yeah, so here, I think maybe could have done more to force Andal away, but letting and then Beryl,
we're just ulting on aiming here. He's going to have to flash away, and now we get a big team fight. Lucid is really not landing those ults today. In comes the Pantheon and saves them from Showmaker, who has to bail, but Lazy Feel, super low, gets flash and smote, but Lucid is pretty much dead.
You're dead, Lucid. Just take the Heartsteel stack.
Yeah, get the stack.
Order him!
Get the stack. Okay, well, instead of that, he's going to go down anyway.
You know, I'm just going to say it, right? There's been a lot of talk about LCK players playing Arena, right? You know, you may have heard about it.
Yes.
I don't think Lucid is one of them. Because if you're playing Arena a lot, you're a fiend for the Heartsteel stacks.
Yeah.
In this situation, aiming a little bit overextended, gets pressured on, and then here, Lazy Feel does live a lot longer than maybe you would have expected. And in the end, aiming does that last bit of damage. Lucid has to clean it up, but Lucid just doesn't, just an auto, you know? Especially here when you know you're dead. Just auto him.
Even here? Yeah.
Anytime.
No.
Any point. It's free HP.
You have Heartsteel. You press.
It makes
right
the nice noise when you proc it.
It does go bonk. But apparently Lucid does not go bonk.
Oh.
That's okay. It's on like a 10-second cooldown.
And you know, we're in a situation where DRX, all things considered, kind of comfortable with where the game is. Like, they have not quite 1,000 gold lead, just under.
Yeah.
They got that dragon. You know, they have an Azir, they have a Kai'Sa who are scaling up. And it feels like DPLUS not really finding the openings that perhaps hoped for. The fact that Dragon got stolen away, they didn't really get anything from it in terms of kills. A lot of the fights they've had have been trades or even trading down.
Yeah.
Aiming does have a lead, but he is the Gold King, so we're not really surprised.
So what he does, he farms. He is aiming to get more CS.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Rich is top with Meganar, so if they were going to fight right now...
Aiming is rich?
He is
gold,
he is rich, yeah. He isn't rich, but he's rich.
Right.
At the moment.
Okay.
You guys TPing in. He's like, hello, guys. Gonna hold on to this turret.
I've seen so much of Lazyfield just walking about. Feels like he's kind of...
Not farming.
He's kind of being directed, like, go here. Go there. Go here. Pick up this wave.
Yeah.
Go here. Go there. Now go here.
Pretty early arm guard from UCal, by the way.
Yeah, put a lot of emphasis on perhaps that being, oh god, don't, the buy arm guard in the start Arakan angle. Seen it before.
We can't throw if we have arm guard. It's OP.
Yep.
Beryl doing his best to remove as much vision from the map for obvious reasons. Not just because he's support, but he's also fiddlesticks.
Using the effigies. We learned that today. That's what they're called.
What's so special about the letter F that it goes in front of that word? Like, why isn't it like B-A-Gs or something?
I think that'd be copyrighted by the BGs.
Yeah, that makes sense. We're diving Shiu again, and yeah, I think he's just dead. Even Gwen can sustain against that, but now they're just going to start Otacon. First smite already used by Lucid. They want to just get this one down as soon as possible.
I think they should have it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of pings to fight here. Like, maybe Andal just jumps in, but he's alone.
No.
So,
no.
Just give it away. So, yes, they kill Shiwu, but...
They get a kill and they get a tower, and they lose Otacon.
I think I would take the Otacon.
I think I would take the Otacon.
But it's a lot of tempo for DRX right now.
If they get this tower, then I think it's actually worth for DRX.
You're going to hit a lot of item spikes. Like, maybe you get your Leandries for UCal. And you try to fight for some of these Drakes that are coming up. I guess it's Chemtech Soul, but...
Also removes the chance of you throwing at Otacon.
True.
So maybe...
That's the best case scenario for DRX.
Maybe a pretty good play from DRX. A tricky decision to make in the moment, but they opt into it, and I think they're feeling fine with the outcome.
Yeah.
Do you get the level up coming in from Shiu, who now has 2 items? And I completed for aiming, so... You know, if he does crit... Oh, wow.
Nice fear. Didn't look like they were going to overcommit for that on Sejuani. But now Sponge in a rough spot. He has to flash out of the 2 ults that are used. But that does mean he's punked, and now they just get Chemtech Drake.
Yeah, not much they can do in this situation. I mean, the damage that came through, the fact that Sponge is chunked, and just the threat of the team fight power enough to force them away. But looking to get a tower mid, I don't think they have time to do this, especially not against this composition.
Yeah. Well, they're able to run north, and they're just fine. They're hanging out. So you've got a gold lead for DRX, but a lot of objectives going over to DK.
Yeah. The feats of strength, the Otacon, the 3 dragons, a lot of things that are kind of favoring DPLUS. And also, like, in terms of the gold, okay, he's fine. If you look where the gold is, UCal doesn't have his 2nd item yet. Showmaker already does. Lucid is down 1,000, but he's a Sejuani, you know?
Yeah. Top
lane, there is a pretty big gap, but, you know, Shiwu's gotten 2 items and has the Rower level up. Gets through a decent power trough. So, I think this game feels very even overall with where we are right now. Also, the big thing is Oh no.
They're bullying Xiu again, and now they got a Kaisa in it as well. Bunch of needles and a flash used by Xiu.
Xiu's not having a fun time this game.
I mean, if the Gwen is isolated against like 2-3 people, there's really not much you can do unless you're in a good spot in the game, but he's not. So
also, there's a lot of champions who can just come inside the Shroud and
yeah.
you're like, yeah, I'm fine to do this.
Pretty much everybody. And now they're engaging on the Sejuani in a really bad spot. A huge amount of damage into Sponge, who is just CC, not able to put the shield up. Barrel, weird spot for him. Rich is going to jump in. The rest of the team was backing away. The rest of the team was running away. You had already lost the guy.
Maybe Rich hasn't encountered much Fiddlestick support in solo queue, because I'm not sure why he went for that play.
Baron?
But the expectation was always you're just going to get feared. And now, yeah, it's 5v3, no jungler on the map. Sponge does have ult, though, so they need to make this sharp.
Yeah.
This isn't so sharp. This
Barrel's getting an angle. He does not have his ult, so it's clearing out vision, I guess.
It should be good. They have smite.
Yeah, there's nothing really they can do without the Pantheon, who's still not alive. 1 second, and that's exactly when the Baron goes down. So DK, they were just hanging out in their jungle. They were just doing the wolves, and DRX are like, you know what? Take us down. And by the way, bonus Baron on top of it. Why not? We'll give you that on top if you call right now, 1-800-DRX.
That's pretty short to be a phone number.
It's DEE.
Oh.
ARE.
Oh, okay,
X.
okay.
Just
yeah, so
X, yeah.
Sponge just jumps in, and they do commit a lot to kill him. Then Rich, like, misses his ult, and then he just walks with his Fiddlesticks like, I've got him. And he just fears you. That is literally
backing.
But that is literally what Fiddlesticks does. Support Fiddlesticks. I mean, not even just support Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks in general. If you run at him, he will just press Q and fear you. And the fear lasts quite a while, so questionable. But, you know, DPLUS take those. They now have the Baron. They don't really have a gold lead. And I'm looking to see if they do anything with this Baron. As of yet, they haven't. Dragon in a minute 30, though. If they can keep the pressure on and convert it into a soul, it'd be pretty big for them.
Yeah. I think that has to be the aim right now. Just try not to make any mistakes. You see that the enemy team is kind of wavering right now. You're like, oh, well, maybe we just sit around and we're in a good spot. And I think that's very fair.
Aiming is level 16.
Yeah.
And if you look at his items, not only does he do a ton of damage with a load of AD, but he's actually very tanky for an AD carry.
Yeah. I think, you know, MF, she runs around fast outside of combat, but once you get into combat, you know, you're kind of a sitting duck. And yes, you can kind of push them away with your ult if your positioning is good, but if it's not, then that extra tankiness just...
I mean, it just comes to the point where if you auto and you get a crit, the healing you get from that is kind of absurd.
Yeah. I mean, they have a decent amount of burst damage in CC, but... yeah, it's definitely a nice little safety valve here for aiming, who has the extra health from the levels. It's just, it's all looking good for him on that front. DK don't have a massive lead, but it does feel like they're in control of this game now, especially after that last team fight. I feel bad for Rich because, yeah, he started off by essentially getting solo killed by Xiu, and then after that he got a bunch of ganks and he got ahead, and he was in a great spot in this game, but then kind of making a big mistake there, so... just feels like he hasn't made the impact with the gold that he's had. And this quote-unquote counter pick also not feeling too good.
Are you surprised that the Gold King is that far ahead of everyone else?
No. It's just the way it goes.
This is getting chunked here, though.
Yeah.
The Shiwu
finish, and now here's the engage from Ando. Catches 4, but nobody, not a single person follows up. Shiwu, meanwhile, frontlining. And he's just going to go down. Still advantage here for the side of DK. Oh! And the double Q and the double ult. They both flash over the wall just to get away. It was pretty far in the enemy jungle, so they weren't able to quite follow up right away.
Does mean they'll secure Soul, though. Not much you can do about that one. Sponge does have ult. I don't think he's going to be back in time to try and suicide for the steal. This will be secured by DPLUS. Barrel getting a lot of value out of the ult, because I think he just stopped any follow-up. If you look what happens here, both Andal and Barrel end up going for the ults at essentially the same time here. And it means the silence came in on Yukal, and then he just doesn't really want to dash into the Fiddlesticks. So they end up taking out the Gwen. And you may think 1-for-1 support for top laner is a good trade, but Showmaker still has cooldowns. The stun from Rich does save Sponge and Lazy Feel, but it doesn't mean much for securing the dragon.
Aiming almost double tapped them both. For
that would have been. The thing is, I can never tell because she does so much damage, but if that had been a crit, maybe. I think that probably wasn't a crit. He has a lot of AD.
It didn't seem like it. We do have another BF sword, by the way, so probably GA.
Yeah. If that had crit, though, and gotten the double, oh my god. That's like, you know, sometimes you have the fantasy on a champion.
Yeah.
You know? That's the MF fantasy.
That is the MF. That's one of them.
Yeah, the other one's a big
like
ult,
the
right?
ult with, wombo combo. And
yeah.
But I feel like the double tap just feels a little bit more satisfying. I don't know.
The noise as well is pretty good.
Yeah.
I kind of hate it because I played against it in lane a lot. And when it hits the minion and it seems to curve at like the craziest angles and hit you, I'm like, what?
It like bounces off the wall for some reason, and in your face, you're like, what the hell? It's not even supposed to do that.
I really deserve to take 110 damage at level
3. You count. That's that arm guard. Gonna come into big effect, and now Lucid in a bit of trouble. He is being chunked down, but now Beryl comes in, saves his jungler, and keeps the team alive, does a bunch of damage. Now the follow-up, though, on in, and a big sweep from UCal might be enough, but Shu finally able to show up, but I don't think it's enough for the team, as Lazyfield got in the back line and totally cleaned up the entire DK team. As Lucid, he had to abandon ship a long time ago. He's not in the fight anymore. Does Shu get out here?
He does have Chemtech Soul active.
He's just gonna dash into the turret. So dies to Andil, which is good.
Well, better
than, Lazy.
So this one, kind of, Lucid overstepping a good amount, gets caught under the tower, gets rooted after, doesn't flash till pretty late. And then Beryl goes in, but doesn't get the fear on his ultimate when he connects. So not as impactful as he maybe wanted. And Aiden just eats about 7 million pieces of CC. Chemtech Soul and saving you from that one.
Yeah, they also used a lot to kill Sponge. Like, even Showmaker ulted him. You know, we had Beryl, who had ulted before, Lucid had ulted, and yeah, they killed Pantheon, and then their damage dealers were just able to do whatever they wanted, because nobody had any CC left.
Now DRX have the Baron.
It's free Baron. So DK get a free Baron, and then DRX get a free Baron.
What are the takeaways from this game so far, Brendan?
Takeaways are, in the middle of the pack of the LCK, anything is possible.
Anything
and you have to play consistently, or you're going to lose to any team.
Yeah, and that's a good takeaway. Lucid, it's just a red buff.
Yeah, but what if he could have the red buff for his team? Yeah.
Nice.
He did it. He didn't get punished, so it must have been the right play.
Now he's going to do it again next time and then die for it.
Raptors not in this game.
I was thinking the next red, but yeah, maybe he's just going to do Raptors now.
Yeah. He's just taking jungle away.
Guys, we do need to cover mid. I think Eamon has it for now.
Yeah. It's kind of a weird lull in the action where like DRX don't have a big enough wave, but they're all mid except for Rich, so they're kind of just waiting for the bot wave to come in, and so are DK, because they can't really do anything, so it's just Lucid doing Raptors.
They definitely could engage. And I kind of get the vibe they'll look for that just because. No other reason.
That is the theme of today.
Yeah.
Be engaged just because.
Yeah. You could not fight, but why would you do that when you could fight?
Yeah. It's a lot more fun to fight. This is a game of violence, okay?
It's just still mind-blowing to me. This team was 5-1. And now we're 5-7.
They were 5-1.
Yeah, they were 5-1. And now, pretty big gold lead open up, about 5,000. And with Elder in a minute, this is not the time you want to suddenly fall behind significantly.
Yeah, the timing of this for DK is very unfortunate.
Yes, unfortunate is a way to describe it.
Yeah, I mean, they just over-indexed on that top fight. They're like, no, we can do this, we're ahead. But they weren't that far ahead. They had Chemtech Soul, but as we saw, it really didn't do anything. Everybody died anyway. It's not like they were doing more damage as they were getting CC'd 100-0.
Maybe Chemtech Soul isn't what it's cracked up to be.
Yeah, I don't think anyone cracks it up to be anything, so Yeah.
They need to buff it by just another percent, just 1 more
Except
percent.
that one guy.
Just 1 more percent. Just one. Well, that's all they need. Just 1 more percent. It'll be good. I promise.
I think it needs to be at least 20%. Otherwise, I'm not interested.
I promise.
20% or I'm not interested.
No. 1 more is all you need. Okay, we'll go to 15. That's 2 more percent.
20%.
15. 15 on no deal.
18%.
No, 18? You're crazy.
All right. Are they going to fight over this Elder? 13 seconds.
I would say yes, because the alternative is pretty bad.
Well, at least it's only Elder. It's not going to be Baron and Elder, so it could be worse.
I feel like Barrel's fishing for an ult, but I feel like he always is, so...
Yeah.
Just send it, Barrel. I want to see him do it. I want to see him just go for it.
All eyes on Barrel.
There we go.
He's doing it. He's going to get a big one. Catches the front line, but it is Sponge. He kills Ondil, though, and that's the big takeaway. UCal at least able to sweep them away. But again, the timing of this is the most important bit because we have Elder up and available.
Yeah, some low health bars as well, so I think you should feel confident to look for this. Sponge has got flash and ult. He can make it into this if he wants. UCal's going to recall on TP. TP comes out from Shiru. He's just picked up a Shadow Flame.
Yeah.
It's all in for the Elder flip.
Well, that's challengers, baby. We do need a jungler for DRX if it's going to be a true flip. Instead, they're just turning on a Rich, and he basically gets 3 into the wall. Showmaker not going to go down, though, and LazyFeel is so deep he just dies. Although they do trade it here for Showmaker. Lucid getting low himself, but the follow-up is just not there. Sponge by himself has to flash away, and aiming might just look to solo the Elder down. A little bit of help from Lucid. And they should be able to get it, even though they're a bit injured while they're doing it. Shiu also going to just take him down. GA available, and they'll give the kill over to Shiu, his second of the game.
Yeah, I love how Aiming walked over to make it rain just to try and take the kill. That's the gold kick right there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this was a great angle from Beryl. He's not spotted. Rich even gives him false sense of security because he's trying to check over there. Ult comes down. Andal doesn't get to play the game. Sponge survives, but him and UCal are both low, and that's enough for them to get posture onto the Baron. And then here, Rich is looking, ends up backing off again, then gets the flash ult. LazyFeel goes in, but look how bulky Aiming is.
Oh, that flash.
And then he just autos him, heals
no.
up, Showmaker offers the help. Yes, Showmaker goes down, but Aiming is just free hitting and healing a bunch each time he gets an auto off.
LazyFeel, he was like, it's this moment or we lose the fight anyway. And he flashes over the wall, tries to kill Aiming, and Aiming shoots him once and gains 50% health.
Yep.
And LazyFeel's like, oh.
Well.
Well, I guess I'm just dead then.
I guess I get outplayed.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is there's so much durability in Aiming's build because he has the Bloodthirster and the Shield Bow. Whereas for LazyFeel, he's kind of glass cannon. You know, he has the QSS, but didn't do anything from there.
Yeah. He did the better strat of just not getting hit by the Fiddle ult, and then you don't need the QSS.
So smart.
So maybe wasted gold on the QSS.
The thing is,
not exactly.
they don't have Baron, so
I mean, the wave clear is it's okay. Oh, very nice angle here for Lucid. That's going to be an easy cleanup on a UCal. And now your wave clear of the Azir is gone. So now, looking for the end here is DK with 40 seconds of Elder buff. Not going to get the knock up here on a Rich. No ult available for Showmaker either, but the burn is coming in. And
silence.
Yeah, that is a big silence coming in. And now, Barrel over the top with the ult. Don't quite have a lot of damage into Rich, actually, as they all live, and the wave is not here. So DK just have to back away and wait for the next wave, which they will.
Elder for 15.
Yeah.
Really want to get the value out of this now.
Oh, the deny on the ult, which I think was just trying to clear the wave, but they just back away anyway.
Okay. Elder's now gone. Baron is up, though, and they did a lot of work with that Elder. But the game is still in a very precarious spot, and these health bars are quite low for them to go for Baron. But they are going to go for Baron. That looks like DRX are a little bit too timid to contest.
It's just a Baron, and they only lost their mid inhibitor. It feels like DK should have been able to do more, but not quite.
This is pretty great from Lucid. Catches him off guard. Doesn't get a chance to react. Goes down to the Elder burn. And yeah, now it feels today's been very back and forth. Every single game. every single game.
You never know. No.
Rich?
He's fine. Totally fine. No problem.
They didn't want that. They didn't want to catch it. Maybe it was Mini now that had gone for it. Beryl has gone Abyssal Mask. You don't have that much AP on your team. I do think there was better items you could have bought, but, you know.
Yeah.
Beryl does want to increase it. He's like, this is for my damage.
Yeah, it is.
You're allowed to benefit from it, but this is mostly for my damage.
Absolutely. It's for Sejuani damage. Well, again, they got the Baron, but is the Baron enough to really end the game off of it? You can get a lot of pressure, take down 2 inhibitors, and use that to get the second Elder. That should be like the safe game plan.
Yes, the second Elder. They definitely...
Yeah. It's coming up in two minutes.
Yeah, okay. Just keep getting objectives. Just keep going. Just keep stacking up those objectives. Never have them synced.
Yeah.
DZ does do a pretty good job of wave clearing. And she will, you know, maybe in about 30 minutes will be push that wave up. He's a long way away from the enemy base. Looks like he's no, he's...
He wants to take the Mega Cone.
Yeah, I get it.
Most damage to aiming, and then Yukal. Xiu with 6 deaths is 3rd on the damage meter.
That's how you get damage, by doing damage and dying for it.
Yeah.
You know? So Xiu pushes that wave a bit, then resets. But I just feel like DRX are kind of holding on pretty solidly, and DPLUS aren't really getting much from this Baron. So it's going to come down to an Elder flip. Again.
Yeah. I mean, mid inhibitor, it doesn't really mean anything.
The thing is, like, sure, DPLUS are ahead, but, you know, a lot of people are starting to get full build. And by a lot of people, I mean the AD carries.
Yeah.
Yukar has 4 completed items. Showmaker has 4.5, but the half doesn't mean that much in this situation. I feel like there's not much in it, despite the goal difference. The Atakan and the Soul help, sure, but again, it's a Chemtech Soul. So I don't know, man. This feels volatile.
If we have follow-up, maybe they can do something. Instead, just going to make it rain over the wall. Beryl backs away. Call is to not engage yet.
Oh, man. They need to get some way of finding vision in the river, because if they face check in the fiddle, it's cooked.
Yukal buys a rod. I feel like we should have more elixirs right now, with this fight being as important as it is. Like, we have a decent amount if you look around, but feels like maybe even an elixir would be better in that spot. Just going to go for the Elder here is DK.
Can make it stacking up his Q.
Beryl, weird spot, has to flash.
That's big.
Flash down, Lucid taking damage too. Poke War going the way heavily of DRX already. And now it's DRX that have position. Anja looks for the engage. Again, no follow-up though. And now we have it going to the Gwen! Of all people, Lazyfield going in. They try to take out aiming, and they will get him down to his GA, but that's not enough to win the fight here, as the Elder buff will just execute everybody. And they only got aiming's GA, and that's it. DK will push and probably just end the game.
It feels so anticlimactic, but how did the Gwen get the Elder? I'm going to need to see that again. No doubt we'll be seeing it in the post-match breakdown. But, you know, Yukal, Sponge, and Rich, none of them use flashes. To be fair, a lot of summoners still available. It kind of felt like once the Elder was gone, the wind went out of the sails of DRX, and they really did just sort of flop. DPLUS, over the course of this game, they were generally ahead, but there were some throws here and there. They will close out the game and go to a 1-0, but it's still not the convincing wins you'd hope from DPLUS. But a game win they sorely needed.